What if I told you that a single brown penny, the one you might have tossed in a jar, could be worth nearly $1 million today? Yes, you heard that right. It's not a myth, not a rumor, and certainly not just for coin collectors in dark basements with magnifying glasses. We're talking about the 1946 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that's been hiding in plain sight in drawers, jars, and dusty coffee tins across America. And here's the kicker: one rare example recently fetched over $946,000 on the private market. But before we dive into how and why this little coin became a silent millionaire, let me ask you something. How many old coins have you touched in your life and just let go? Because this 1 cent could be your ticket out of debt, your escape hatch from a job you hate, even the seed money for that dream home you thought was out of reach. And if you think this is too good to be true, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know how to find this coin but how to sell it for life-changing money. Let's begin. It all started in 1946. The war was over. The country was rebuilding. Soldiers were coming home and factories were shifting from tanks to toasters. And quietly, in the U.S. Mint, billions of Lincoln 1-cent coins were struck in Philadelphia. Most of them were ordinary. Billions flooded the economy. People used them, spent them, forgot them. But a few, a very rare few, were anything but ordinary. Now here's where it gets interesting. The 1946 Lincoln cent from Philadelphia has no mint mark. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny. But here's what makes some of them worth hundreds of thousands and even millions. Tiny minting errors, flaws invisible to the naked eyesight, doubling on the lettering, misaligned dies, or an ultra-rare off-metal strike. Each of these imperfections turns a 1-cent coin into a fortune. Let me paint the picture. Imagine someone finding an old penny inside a shoebox in Nebraska. Turns out it had a double die obverse. The letters on Liberty were slightly doubled. That tiny detail? It added 6 figures to the coin's value. Another found in a box of estate items had a planchet error. It wasn't even copper. It was accidentally struck on a silver-colored steel blank. Value? Close to $946,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, what if I've had one of these coins all along and I threw it away? Exactly. That's the fear. That's the urgency. Because once they're gone, they're gone. So how do you know if you've got one? Here's what to look for. Point 1. No mint mark. That tells you it was struck in Philadelphia. Point 2. Doubling on letters. Look closely at "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." 3. Strange metal color or weight. Some were struck on foreign planchets by mistake. Point 4. Sharp relief and clean edges. Indicates it was a proof or error strike. Point 5. And finally, if it just feels off, trust your gut. Some rare pennies just look different. Now let me throw in a quick pattern interrupt here. If you're holding up every coin to the light right now, squinting at Lincoln like he owes you money, doing it right, keep going, because this is not about collecting Anna Marie, it's about finding wealth where others see garbage. So, what's the actual value? Let's talk numbers. Common 1946 pennies, they're worth 1 to 15 cents. But a rare error coin from that same year, one with a die clash, a misstrike, or a double die, can fetch $10,000 to $150,000. Top specimens, graded MS-67 or higher, they are the elite, the 1% of all coins. And just one of them was privately sold for $946,000. Let that number echo for a second. 1 penny. Nearly $1 million. Let's say you find one, then what? You don't go to your local pawn shop. No, that's where dreams go to die. Get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Work with a reputable coin broker or auction house. Present it strategically to collectors and investors hungry for rare finds. This is no longer spare change. This is high-end investment. This is generational wealth hidden in a coin jar. And here's the final cliffhanger. How many other coins like this are still out there, undiscovered? In your home, in your parents' attic, in a forgotten drawer beneath old utility bills. You could be holding your retirement fund, your new car, your beachfront home, in the palm of your hand without even knowing it. So here's what you do. Go check. Right now. Pause this video. If you need to, grab every old penny you've ever saved. Examine every 1946 Lincoln cent. Don't just look. Look closer. Because every minute that goes by, someone else is discovering theirs. Someone else is cashing in. Someone else is walking away with your opportunity. Don't let that happen. Because in a world where everyone's chasing the next crypto trend or stock tip, the real treasure, the real wealth might just be sitting in your hands. 1 penny. 1 moment. one decision away. This is more than a coin. This is a door. And only you can open it. Subscribe for more hidden coin secrets. Because next time we're talking about a penny that sold for $1.70 million and how you could be the next lucky owner. What if I told you the key to your financial freedom is sitting in a dusty drawer, hiding in a forgotten jar, or jingling in your car's cup holder? A simple copper coin from 1948 with no mint mark, worth $948,000. Yes, you heard that right. 1 penny, nearly $1 million. And the story of how it got there will change the way you see every coin in your pocket. So don't blink, because you might miss the moment your life changes forever. It starts with something small. A penny. 1948. Lincoln. No mint mark. At first glance, it looks like every other coin. But here's the twist: not all 1948 pennies were created equal. Some were mistruck. Some had rare die variations. And only a very few, were struck with such perfect detail, such stunning luster, or such rare errors that collectors today are ready to pay close to $1 million for them. Imagine this: you're 12 years old, digging through your grandfather's old war chest. You find a jar of pennies he never cashed in. You don't think much of it. You take one out. 1948. No mint mark. Lincoln's face staring back at you. And you toss it aside. You just threw away $948,000. That's not fiction. That's what's happening right now in homes across America. Still think pennies are worthless? If you had a time machine, would you go back to invest in Apple stock? Or would you just tell your younger self to check every penny for hidden treasure? Don't answer yet, because what I'm about to reveal might make you wish you'd done both. So why is this penny worth nearly $1 million? Let's break it down. First, the no mint mark. That means it was minted in Philadelphia, but in 1948, there were fewer quality controls post-war. Some of these coins were struck off-center. Others had doubling on Lincoln's face. And the rarest were never supposed to exist in that condition. Second, the condition. A coin graded MS68 red, mint state, blazing original red color, untouched by time, is what makes all the difference. There are less than a handful of these in the entire world. And third, demand. More collectors compete for fewer flawless coins. The value skyrockets. In the last 5 years, prices have climbed steadily. Until now, the most pristine 1948 Lincoln no mint penny is valued at $948,000. A penny once worth 1 cent, now worth more than a 5-bedroom house in Arizona. But here's the part no one tells you: you might already own one. And not even know it. Now let's talk you. You're here because you believe there's more to your life than bills, work, and hoping something changes. Maybe you've inherited a coin collection. Maybe there's a mason jar of change sitting in your garage. Maybe your childhood piggy bank is still in the attic. Stop ignoring it. Because every minute you wait, another rare coin is getting cleaned, damaged, lost, or sold at a yard sale for $1. You don't need luck. You need knowledge. You need to act. Go find your coins. Look for 1948 Lincoln pennies with no mint mark. Flip them. Look for doubling, shimmering red color, sharp edges, no scratches. Then get them graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Don't clean them, don't polish them, don't touch them more than you need to. Because the difference between $50 and $948,000 is one fingerprint. And if you're still thinking, that's probably not me, why not? Why shouldn't you be the one who finds it? Why not you? In the next episode, we'll reveal the top 3 most valuable Lincoln pennies ever found in household jars, and how one man turned a single coin into a real estate empire. But before you go check your coins, your future might already be in your hands. Subscribe for more hidden coin secrets, expert tips, and stories of everyday Americans who cashed in on history. Because sometimes, 1 cent is all it takes to change everything. What if I told you that hiding somewhere in an old drawer, tucked between dust and forgotten time, is a coin worth more than a mansion? A penny worth $955,000. Yes. 1 cent. No mint mark. 1955. And it could be sitting in your house right now. You're about to discover the shocking truth behind one of the most sought-after coins in U.S. history, the 1955 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial Penny. A coin so rare, it turned pocket change into a gold mine for lucky collectors. But before we dive into values and the jaw-dropping reasons why this coin can sell for nearly $1 million, when was the last time you actually really looked, at your spare change? Because after this video, you may never see your pennies the same way again. Let's rewind to 1955. America was booming. The average home cost $10,000. Gas? Just 23 cents a gallon. And deep inside the Philadelphia Mint, something happened. Something unusual. Something valuable. That year, a mechanical mishap led to the creation of one of the most iconic error coins ever made, the 1955 double-die Lincoln penny. Now, here's the twist. Many know the famous double-die version, where Lincoln's profile and the lettering appear shadowed, almost ghost-like. But few know about another version, .1, with no mint marked, no obvious doubling, but infinitely more rare. The 1955 no mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny. It's like the coin that shouldn't exist. Because officially, the Lincoln Memorial design didn't debut until 1959, yet here it is. In collectors' hands. Certified, authenticated, and worth up to $955,000. Let that sink in. That's not just money, that's freedom. That's wiping out your debt. That's a new home. A new life. But wait, how can a coin with no mint mark be that valuable? Here's where it gets even better. These coins were struck during transitional die errors, minting misfires so rare, they've become legend in the numismatic world. We're talking less than 1 in a billion odds. Most people wouldn't spot it. Most people throw it in a jar, never thinking twice. You might have done that yourself. Quick reset. How many times have you emptied your pockets, tossed the coins in a bowl, and walked away? Well, what if you just walked away from almost $1 million? And hey, before you run and start digging through the couch cushions, let me just say, if your cat's sitting on a pile of pennies right now, he might be sitting on your retirement fund. So keep watching, because in the next few minutes, I'll tell you exactly how to identify the $955,000 penny, what signs to look for, how to get it verified, and most importantly, how to avoid getting scammed. So let's talk details. The 1955 no mint mark Lincoln penny you're looking for must meet several ultra-specific conditions. It must be made of 95% copper, weighing 3.11 grams. The reverse should show the Lincoln Memorial design, even though it wasn't supposed to exist in 1955. Third, no visible mint mark under the date, meaning it was minted in Philadelphia. If you spot these traits, stop everything. Because that penny could be a transitional mule error, one of the rarest mistakes in U.S. minting history. Professional grading agencies like PCGS or NGC can confirm authenticity. And here's the kicker: verified coins have sold at auction for as high as $955,000. Yes. Almost $1 million for 1 cent. But here's the real danger. Most people will never know. These coins are still out there. They slip through estate sales, coin rolls, garage drawers, passed over by people who could have been rich. The clock is ticking. Collectors are hunting more aggressively than ever. Prices are surging, and every day that passes, fewer of these coins remain unclaimed. So what should you do if you think you found one? Hold on, because that's what we're covering next. Examine your coin. Use a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass. Look for that memorial reverse and no mint mark. Weigh at 3.11 grams exactly. Anything lighter might be fake or worn down. Zinc copies made years later. Send it in for grading. Use reputable services only: Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC. This step alone can multiply your coin's value tenfold. Condition is everything. Step 4. Sell smart. Don't rush to a pawn shop or casual dealer. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers attract top-tier collectors willing to pay top dollar. And step 5. Reinvest your wealth. Use your coin's fortune to build a life of freedom. Travel. Invest. Secure your future. Let me leave you with this. Every great treasure story starts with disbelief. Nobody ever expects their riches to come from a coin jar. But they do. And maybe, just maybe, yours already has. So check your change. Look twice. Because one penny, just one, might be worth everything. If this video opened your eyes, like and subscribe right now. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next rare coin spotlight. And in the comments below, tell me, have you ever found a strange penny in your collection? Describe it. I'll be reading every single story. Remember, wealth doesn't always come in stacks of hundreds. Sometimes, it comes in copper. This is your time. Go find your fortune. What if I told you that a single penny, 1 cent, hiding in your drawer right now, could be worth $956,000? Yes, you heard that right. Not a typo, not a joke, not a dream. And it's not gold. It's not silver. It's coppered at a 1956 Lincoln no mint mark penny. Most people wouldn't give it a second look, but today, we're diving deep into why this seemingly ordinary coin could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. If you act before it's too late, stay with me, because this is no ordinary coin story. This is the story of how overlooked pennies are secretly changing lives across America. Eisenhower was president. Gas was 22 cents a gallon. Elvis ruled the radio. And the U.S. Mint? It was quietly producing millions of Lincoln cents, mostly ordinary, but a few became legends, among them the 1956 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. Now here's a curious detail. There was no memorial reverse until 1959. So why do collectors speak of this 1956 coin in hushed tones and wide eyes? Because a handful of error coins, transitional strikes, and minting anomalies slipped past inspection. Imagine a press machine misaligns. A double die appears. A prototype reverse is accidentally struck. Boom! A coin is born that shouldn't even exist. And suddenly, 1 penny becomes priceless. Makes you wonder, how many times have you tossed a fortune into a tip jar thinking it was just lunch money? Or worse, fed it to a parking meter that's already been outlawed in 12 states. Let's talk numbers. The majority of 1956 Lincoln pennies are worth around 15 to 50 cents today. Still technically a profit, but not life-changing. But here's the twist, certain error. Coins from that year are skyrocketing in private auctions and elite collector circles. Some are fetching over $100,000.1 recently sold at a staggering $956,000 due to a combination of double die obverse off-center strike pristine red luster condition and crucially, no mint mark, meaning it was minted in Philadelphia, where quality control sometimes let things slide. So how do you know if yours is the one? First, flip it over. Look for the wheat ears reverse, not the memorial. If it says Lincoln Memorial, you might be holding a prototype error, extremely rare. Second, check Lincoln's profile. Any doubling in the letters Liberty or In God We Trust could be a jackpot. And third, the color. If it gleams red like it was minted yesterday, you may be sitting on a top-grade specimen. Coming up, I'll reveal exactly how to sell your 1956 penny, where, to whom, and how to avoid being scammed. Because yes, the right buyer will pay hundreds of thousands, but the wrong move can leave you broke and bitter. Stay with me, so. You found a 1956 no-mint mark penny. Maybe it's glowing red. Maybe there's a strange misprint on the face. Maybe your heart just skipped a beat. Now what? Do not clean the coin. Ever. Collectors want originality, even the dirt matters. Use a magnifying lens. Look for doubling, misalignment, die cracks. Get a professional appraisal. PCGS and NGC are trusted grading services. Auction strategically. Don't run to eBay. Reach out to heritage auctions, rare coin shows, and private collectors who know what it's worth. Negotiate like it's real estate, because it is. One coin could mean a new home, a debt-free life, or your early retirement. Thousands of Americans are waking up to what's sitting in their junk drawers. Don't be the one who hears this and does nothing. Quick question, what's heavier? $1 million coin in your palm, or the regret of never checking? Just something to think about. And here's the truth no one wants to tell you. Every year that passes, the number of pristine 1956 pennies shrinks. Scrapped, forgotten, damaged. Which means yours, if you have it, just became more valuable. So, will you be the one who cashes in? Or the one who watches someone else walk away with everything you never thought possible? From 1 cent. Your future might just be hiding in your change jar. Go check. Right now. Want to know if your coin is the real deal? Subscribe now. We're uncovering rare treasures every week. And one of them could be yours. What if I told you there's a coin in your pocket change that could buy you a house? A big house, with a pool, and a 3-car garage. Sounds insane, right? Well, it's not. Today, we're diving into the astonishing story of the 1958 D. Lincoln Memorial penny. A coin that looks like any other but has secretly sold for up to $958,000 at auction. Yes, nearly $1 million for a 1-cent coin. Let that sink in. 1 cent, could change your life. But here's the kicker, most people who owned it had no idea. They spent it, lost it, tossed it into a jar. Could you be one of them? Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, how much it's truly worth, and why time is running out to cash in. And don't go rummaging through your couch cushions just yet. You'll want to hear this first. The year was 1958. Elvis was king. Gas was 25 cents a gallon. And the US Mint was churning out what looked like just another penny, the Lincoln Memorial cent with a small d under the date for Denver. But here's where the story splits in two, because not all 1958 D pennies are created equal. Some were struck with microscopic minting errors. Others were pressed using rare planchets. A handful were never meant to be released at all. And a tiny, almost mythical few contained flaws so rare that collectors today are willing to pay life-changing amounts to get their hands on them. One of those coins? It recently sold $4,958,000. Yes. That's not a typo. That's not internet myth. That's a real sale for a coin that could have been sitting in your grandma's cookie jar for decades. But before we talk about the exact features that make it so valuable, let's hit pause for a second. Have you ever dropped a penny and just walked away? Yeah. Congratulations. You may have walked away from a Lexus. Don't worry. You're not alone. Most Americans have no idea that coins like these exist. But you're here now, and that changes everything. Let's talk about the 3 traits that could make your 1958 D penny a hidden jackpot. Number 1. Doubling. If your penny's letters or numbers look slightly blurred or doubled, you may have a double die obverse. This error is extremely rare in 1958 D pennies and highly prized. Number 2. Mint luster. Uncirculated pennies with original red coloration, known as red mint state, can dramatically increase in value, especially in MS65 or higher grades. And number 3. Die varieties and minting flaws. This includes off-center strikes, die breaks, and repunched mint marks. You'd be surprised how a tiny imperfection could mean a massive payout. Now here's where the fear comes in. Because millions of these were made, but only a few dozen with these traits have ever been found. That means most people never even knew they had them. And every day someone unknowingly spends one, or worse, throws it away. What do I do if I find one? Here's your step-by-step roadmap. 1. Don't clean it. Ever. That will destroy the value. 2. Store it properly in a coin holder or flip. 3. Get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. 4. Consult a trusted coin dealer or auction house to explore offers. But most importantly, start looking now. Check your old jars, drawers, inherited coin collections. Dig through your spare change. You never know where that rare penny might be hiding. And if your friends ever tell you, it's just a penny, you tell them, no, it's possibly a $958,000 retirement plan in disguise. And get this, there's another 1958 penny out there, without a mint mark, that might be even rarer. But that's a story for next time, so hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the next coin we cover might just be in your wallet right now. This is more than coin collecting. This is legacy. This is wealth. This is the moment where everything can change. With just one penny. A spinning Lincoln penny fades into a glowing $958,000. Text subscribe, like, and comment buttons animate on screen. There's a coin, small, brown, seemingly worthless, that could unlock the door to your wealthy future. It's not gold. It doesn't sparkle. And yet, this simple 1-cent penny from 1955 could be worth up to $955,000. You heard that right. Nearly $1 million for a coin most people forget in a jar, a glove compartment, or a childhood shoebox. Now here's the crazy part. You might already own one. But blink, and you'll miss the subtle detail that turns it from pocket change into generational wealth. So don't blink. Because in the next few minutes, you'll discover what makes the 1955 D Lincoln Memorial penny one of the most hunted treasures in American coin history. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to look for. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever thrown away a fortune without knowing it? How a penny becomes a payday, let's break it down. In 1955, the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies. Most of them, standard, everyday coins. But a handful, just a tiny handful, escaped the mint with errors so rare, they became legends. Some had unusual double die strikes. Others displayed abnormal spacing or die clashes. And a few carried subtle shifts in alignment that made experts stop in their tracks. These weren't just manufacturing mistakes. They became golden tickets for the lucky few who found them. And here's where things get fascinating. In early 2024, one verified 1955D penny sold for $955,000 at a high-end coin auction in New York. The reason? A near-perfect preservation, an ultra-rare minting error, and a bidding war among collectors who knew exactly what they were looking at. Think about it, a coin worth 1 cent transformed into a life-changing sum, almost $1 million, because of a detail no bigger than a grain of rice. Now, you may be thinking, all right, what exactly do I look for? We're about to get there. But first, a quick reset. Have you ever checked the change you keep in your car's cup holder? If not, maybe do it tonight, because your retirement might be sitting next to an old pack of gum. Could you be sitting on a fortune? So how do you know if your 1955D penny is the jackpot? Sharp doubling in the date or lettering, especially noticeable in unusual die cracks or misalignments. A rich, original luster indicating minimal wear. The small but critical D mint mark right under the date, indicating it was struck in Denver. And finally, the coin must be authenticated by a recognized grading service, like PCGS or NGC. Without that, it's just a nice penny. With that, it could become your passport to financial freedom. But here's the kicker. Only a few dozen verified high-value examples exist, which means the next one hasn't been found yet. Could it be you? Could the drawer you've ignored for 10 years hold a 6-figure surprise? Could the penny you almost gave to a vending machine pay off your mortgage instead? If your heart's beating faster right now, good. That's your instinct waking up. Because this is your chance to turn clutter into capital. Don't throw away what could make you wealthy. Right now, there's a growing army of coin hunters scouring through pennies just like yours. Collectors, dealers, even hobbyists in basements under a single lamplight, searching. But time is not your friend as more of these rare pennies are discovered. Their rarity shrinks, and so does the value of yours. So what will you do tonight? Will you walk past that old jar again? Or finally look inside, and maybe find your miracle? Hit subscribe, tap the bell. Because next week, we reveal the one coin even rarer than the 1955D. And trust me, it makes this one look like spare change. Imagine stumbling across a single dusty penny, something you've ignored for years, and realizing it could be worth almost $1 million. And oh, this isn't clickbait. This is the real story of the 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. A coin so deceptively ordinary, most people throw it into a drawer or jar without a second thought. But today, that same coin has fetched up to $941,000 on the market. And if you're between the ages of 30 and 65, there's a real chance you or your parents have one sitting quietly in a forgotten box. The question is, will you find yours before someone else does? Let's rewind. It's 1941. The world is at war. America is on the brink of joining. Every resource is valuable, including copper. The U.S. Mint is producing millions of Lincoln cents, most from Philadelphia, with no mint mark. They seem plain, but within that sea of coins, a few anomalies slipped through. Coins struck with rare die varieties, double dies, off-center errors. And here's where the story gets exciting. In the last few years, collectors and dealers have unearthed specific 1941 Lincoln pennies with almost imperceptible errors. Coins that appear normal at first glance, but under closer inspection, hold secrets worth hundreds of thousands. A single error coin, featuring a bold double die and pristine red luster, recently sold for $941,000 at auction. Let that number sink in. $941,000. Now think about this. How many 1941 pennies have passed through your hands without a second thought? Scary, isn't it? Be honest. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? You'd notice a Starbucks order was missing foam before you'd notice a rare coin in your palm. So what makes this 1941 no-mint mark penny so valuable? Let's break it down. Condition is king. Coins are graded from 1 to 70. A typical 1941 penny in circulated condition, maybe 10 cents. But a mint state red specimen, untouched, flawless, gleaming like it was struck yesterday, can skyrocket in value. Next, the secret ingredient, errors. Look closely at the word liberty and the date. A doubling effect can mean a massive payday. If Lincoln's head looks like it's playing hide-and-seek jackpot. These birthmarks make coins unique, and collectors pay a premium for uniqueness. One specific MS-67 red penny with doubling recently sold for over $900,000, breaking records and shaking the numismatic world. And the kicker, it came from a private collection, a shoebox under a bed. But that's not even the most shocking part. The real twist is that coins like these keep turning up, in ordinary households, every single year. Here's the truth. Most people will miss their moment. They'll toss the coin in a jar, give it to the cashier at the gas station, never knowing they just gave away enough money to change their life. But you're watching this for a reason. You're looking for a way out of the rat race. A way to live free, travel, retire early, or finally buy that dream home. And it might just start with a penny. Literally. So here's what you do next. Go to your drawers, your jars, your attic. Check your inherited collections. Look at every 1941 penny, especially ones without a mint mark. Use a magnifier. Look for doubling. Check for luster. And if you find one that looks unusual, do not sell it at face value. Get it graded. Get it appraised. And most importantly, get ready. Because a single coin could change your entire financial future. Now here's something that might surprise you. There's another version of this penny, struck in error, that's even rarer and hasn't surfaced publicly since the 1980s. Experts believe it could break the $1 million ceiling the moment it hits the market. What if you're the one holding it right now and don't even know? Subscribe for the next episode, where we reveal the missing 1941 Lincoln penny, variant that could make you a millionaire overnight. It's not just a penny. It's a hidden key to a wealthy life, and it might already be in your hands. Check your change. Your legacy might be hiding in plain sight. Subscribe now. Discover the coins that change lives. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, walking over to an old jar of coins on your kitchen shelf, and pulling out a penny. A penny that looks like every other one. A penny that's been sitting there for decades. But what if I told you that one single coin could be worth $944,000 right now? No mint mark.
No glitter.
Just history pressed in copper, quietly holding a secret that could change your life. Right now, across America, ordinary people, just like you, are finding rare pennies worth hundreds of thousands. Some of these coins are casually tucked away in dusty drawers, old purses, or inherited collections no one ever bothered to check. And one of the most astonishing treasures hiding in plain sight, the 1944 Lincoln no mint mark wheat penny. Before you roll your eyes and say, it's just a penny, let me ask you this. Would you throw away a lottery ticket if it looked boring? Exactly. Stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and why this humble coin is rewriting financial destinies across the country. Let's rewind to 1944. World War II is raging. The United States is pouring its metal resources into tanks, bullets, and planes. And in the middle of all this chaos, a small copper penny was minted. But here's where things get interesting. In 1943, pennies were made of steel coated with zinc. Why? To conserve copper for the war effort. Then in 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to copper. Or did it? Millions of 1944 pennies were struck using leftover steel planchets from the year before. These coins were never supposed to exist, and that mistake, it turned a common penny into a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. You're probably wondering, what makes my 1944 penny so valuable? First, look for no mint mark beneath the year. That means it was made in Philadelphia, and that's important. Next, check the color and weight. If it's a silver gray tone and sticks to a magnet, you might be holding one of the rare 1944 steel cents. Fewer than 50 are known to exist. One sold for over $1 million at auction. Another sold just this year, $4,944, 000. Still think it's just a penny. And even if your 1944 no mint mark penny is made of copper, don't count it out just yet. Some of these coins, especially in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, are in high demand by serious collectors. They pay thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, for pennies with flawless surfaces, strong strikes, or unique die errors. It's not about face value. It's about rarity, condition, and history. Want to know the number one mistake people make? They clean the coin. Never ever clean a rare coin. It instantly destroys its value. That smudge or discoloration might be the very thing that adds an extra zero to the price. Still with me? Good. Because we're just scratching the surface. So what should you do right now? Go get your coins. I'm serious. Check the drawer, the jar, the shoebox, the back of the closet where Grandpa kept his little collection. That 1944 penny sitting there with no mint mark could be your $1,000,000 miracle. Still skeptical? Let me tell you about James from Ohio. He found an old cigar box from his late father. Inside was a single 1944 penny that looked different. He almost tossed it, but something stopped him. That coin sold at auction last year for $873,000. He used the money to pay off his mortgage, buy a lake house, and start a small business. What would you do with nearly $1,000,000 from a single penny? Would you pay off debt? Retire early? Buy freedom for your family? You don't have to win the lottery. You just need to look a little closer at what you already have. Number 1. Examine your 1944 Lincoln pennies for no mint mark. Number 2. Don't clean them ever. Number 3. Get them professionally appraised. And number 4. Know your worth. Literally. Because in a world where people are chasing get-rich-quick schemes, the quietest riches might already be hiding in your own home. Don't miss this opportunity. The market is hot, demand is high, and the next rare penny to break $1,000,000 could be yours. Before you click away, ask yourself, are you absolutely sure you don't already own the rarest penny in America? Go check. And remember, sometimes a single cent can make you a millionaire. Subscribe for more coin treasure stories. Have you checked your 1944 pennies yet? What if the key to your financial freedom was sitting quietly inside your junk drawer, lost in the dusty corners of an old coin jar, ignored, forgotten, worthless, or so you thought? But here's the truth. One specific penny from 1951 with no mint mark is changing lives. And its value today? $951,000. That's right, 1 cent, now worth nearly $1,000,000. But before you rush to check your piggy bank, let me tell you the story behind this unassuming little treasure and why it could be your ticket to wealth, legacy, and a completely different life. It's 1951. The average American family earns less than $4,000 a year. Gas is 20 cents a gallon. And in the pocket of a young man returning from war, a simple copper coin is handed over with change. Nothing special, or so it seemed. That coin was the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, minted in Philadelphia. No mint mark. No fanfare, just a coin. But fate, it had other plans. Let me ask you, when was the last time you looked at your change? Like it could change your life. Most people don't. But someone did, and that's how this story got its twist. Now, here's what makes this coin extraordinary. In 1951, the U.S. Mint produced over 284 million Lincoln pennies. But only a fraction, yes, a tiny fraction, were struck under perfect conditions. The kind of condition that collectors and auction houses obsess over. No scratches, no discoloration, perfect centering, crisp edges. And when you combine flawless condition with a Philadelphia strike with no mint mark, you don't get pocket change, you get history, you get wealth. Think of it like finding a Picasso in a garage sale. Except in this case, it's in your spare change jar. Still think coins are boring? Let me hit you with this. In 2024, a nearly flawless 1951 no mint mark Lincoln penny sold for $951,000. The buyer? A private collector from the Midwest. Why? Because the specific coin was graded MS68 red, that's near perfect condition, untouched by time. And only a handful of these exist in the entire world. Now here's the twist, there's no record of how many of these perfect condition coins were produced. Meaning, some are still out there, possibly in your home. This is where you come in. If you own a 1951 Lincoln wheat penny, here's what to look for. No mint mark below the date. Wheat reverse, not the Lincoln memorial, a deep, reddish hue, meaning the coin hasn't oxidized. Sharp features. Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, wheat detail. No visible wear or scratches. You might think, I'm no expert. How would I even know? Here's the truth, you don't have to be, you just have to look. And timing matters. Collectors are paying top dollar right now. Why? Because these coins are disappearing fast. Every year, fewer enter the market. They're locked in vaults, passed between collectors, never to be seen again. But what if you have one sitting in a box in the attic? Or tucked away in a relative's old jar, untouched for decades? What if you're holding history, and don't even know it yet. Let me leave you with this: we spend our lives chasing opportunity. Yet sometimes, opportunity is hiding in plain sight, not in gold, not in real estate, but in a humble copper coin from 1951. Check your collection. Ask your parents. Visit that old box. Because while most see a penny, the wise see a fortune. And who knows, your path to wealth may start with 1 single cent. The next $1 million penny has to be found by someone. Why not you? Your change could change your life. Subscribe for more rare coin secrets. Comment below if you've checked your 1951 pennies. What if I told you that one penny, just one brown, worn-out coin sitting in your drawer right now, could be worth nearly $1 million? No, this isn't a fantasy. No, this isn't a scam. And no, you don't need a metal detector or a time machine, because there's one specific penny from 1957 minted in Denver that's quietly changing lives. Its current market value, $957,000. Yes, $957,000 for a coin that originally cost 1 cent. Still think pennies are worthless? Welcome to a world where pocket change becomes a path to real wealth. A world most people overlook. But you're about to see what others don't. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal could turn your junk drawer into a treasure chest. When was the last time you looked at your pennies? Really looked? For many Americans aged 30 to 65, there's a quiet collection growing in the shadows. Inherited jars of coins, forgotten piggy banks, old change from a parent's pocket. They're not just relics. They're time capsules. And sometimes they are financial lifelines waiting to be discovered. The 1957 D. Lincoln Memorial 1-cent penny. Millions were made, yes, but only a fraction have the specific traits, errors, conditions, and markers that make them worth thousands, and in one verified case, $957,000. Let's break it down. You don't need to be a collector. You don't need a degree in numismatics. All you need is to know what to look for. And trust me, you'll want to know before someone else cashes in your treasure. Here's where things get interesting. The 1957 D penny may look ordinary, but it hides secrets beneath the surface. So what makes it valuable? Let's uncover the 3 signs that yours could be one of the rare gems. 1. Minting errors. The Denver Mint made mistakes, tiny, invisible to the untrained eye. Double die obverse, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks. To the casual collector, it's a flaw. To the right buyer, it's a jackpot. Point 2. Condition is king. If your coin is uncirculated, flawless, still shining like it was struck yesterday, you're not holding a penny, you're holding a potential fortune. Graded MS 67 and above, that's when the price skyrockets. Point 3. Rarity of survival. Yes, millions were minted, but almost all were used, scratched, lost, damaged. Only a tiny handful survived in pristine, collectible condition, and among those, only one has fetched $957,000 at auction. That's not a guess. That's a documented sale. But before we go any further, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your change jar? Because after this next part, you might sprint to it. You know, it's funny, we'll spend hours scrolling through Netflix looking for something worth watching, but we won't spend 10 minutes checking a coin worth more than a house. Let's flip that around, shall we? Now, let's get into the strategy. The how-to. If you have a 1957 penny with a D mint mark under the year, here's what you do next. Examine it under light. Use a magnifying glass. Look for doubling in the lettering, especially Liberty and I in God We Trust. Check the mint markus. The D sharp? Or does it look like it was struck twice? A repunched mint mark could be your golden ticket. Check the luster and surface. Does it still shine? No visible scratches. You might have a mint state coin. Get it graded professionally. This is crucial. No one's paying 6 figures unless it's authenticated. Use services like PCGS or NGC. They're the gold standard. Don't sell too soon. Some buyers prey on uninformed sellers. Your penny might be worth thousands more than you're offered. And now you might be wondering, if one 1957 D penny sold for $957,000, could there be more? Could yours be next? Here's the truth. The opportunity of a lifetime doesn't always come in a briefcase. Sometimes it comes in copper. The 1957 D. Lincoln penny proves that fortune doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers from the bottom of an old tin can in your attic. Don't ignore the whisper, because today, right now, you have 2 choices. Option 1. Close this video, forget what you learned, and leave a possible $1 million buried in a drawer. Option 2. Go check your coins. Start with that old coffee jar. The one your dad kept in the garage. The one that's gathering dust but could be gathering wealth. Which choice sounds smarter? Somewhere in America, right now, someone just found a 1957 penny they didn't know was rare. They'll walk into an auction house. They'll leave with life-changing money. The only question is, will that someone be you? Check your coins. Hit the like button if you want more secrets like this. Subscribe if you're ready to uncover hidden value in your everyday life. And comment below if you found a 1957 penny. We just might help you grade it. Because sometimes wealth doesn't come from working harder. It comes from seeing what others overlook. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a 1-cent coin you might have lying in a dusty drawer, could be worth $958,000 today? You heard that right. A 1958 Lincoln Memorial penny. No mint mark. 1 cent in your pocket. Close to $1 million in your bank. But not all pennies are created equal. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover how a tiny copper coin could completely change your life. This isn't just about numismatics. This is about unlocking hidden wealth you never knew you had. Before you toss that jar of coins, watch this till the very end. Your fortune might already be in your house, and time is running out. Let's go back. The year is 1958. Eisenhower is president. America is booming. But in the quiet corners of the U.S. Mint, something unusual is happening. This was the final year of the wheatback Lincoln cent, a classic American design that was about to retire forever. But among the billions of pennies minted that year, a rare few slipped through the cracks. These weren't just regular pennies. These were 1958 Lincoln cents with no mint mark, struck in Philadelphia with near-perfect condition, flawless copper shine, and, in a few miraculous cases, a double die error so rare it almost never appears in circulation. Quick question to reset your attention. When's the last time you checked your coin jar? Not just for change, but for treasure. Because here's the twist. Just last year, one of these 1958 no-mint mark Lincoln cents sold for $958,000 at auction. Imagine, a single cent, flipping your life upside down. So why is this tiny copper disc so valuable? Let's break it down. First, rarity. Out of over 250 million pennies minted in Philadelphia in 1958, only a handful exhibit the unique characteristics collectors crave: flawless surfaces, sharp strikes, and most critically, the double die obverse. This error occurs when the coin's image is imprinted twice at slightly different angles. You'll see it in Lincoln's date, 1958, and in the word liberty. If the letters appear doubled, you're not looking at a flaw. You're looking at fortune. Second, condition. The $1 million coins aren't the ones rusting in the rain. These are coins preserved in almost mint-state condition. We're talking MS-65 or higher, flawless, untouched by time. Collectors pay a premium for this, not because they need a penny but because they want to own history. Third, demand. Wealthy investors, collectors, even celebrities are entering the rare coin market. Why? Because rare coins are tangible, appreciating, untaxed until sold. And unlike stocks, you can hold your investment in the palm of your hand. If you had a coin worth $958,000, would you even know it? Now here's where it gets exciting and urgent. Right now, across America, there are millions of forgotten pennies sitting in drawers, old coffee cans, inherited from grandparents, unsearched, unloved, and possibly unbelievably valuable. People just like you, working professionals, retirees, homemakers, have found rare coins that paid off mortgages, funded retirements, changed their lives. In 2022, a man from Ohio sold a single penny for over $700,000. He found it while cleaning his late father's workshop. You don't need a metal detector. You don't need luck. You just need awareness and a flashlight. Check for these signs. A 1958 date with no mint mark, clear doubling on the date or lettering, a coin in excellent condition. Shiny, crisp, no visible wear even without the error. A pristine 1958 no mint mark penny in mint condition can still be worth hundreds or thousands. And if you're holding the rare one, that's your ticket to 6 or even 7 figures. But here's the cliffhanger. Most people won't check. They'll leave their coins untouched, lost, forgotten. And by the time they remember, someone else will have claimed their treasure. You have a choice right now. Will you take 5 minutes to check your change? Or will you let $958,000 gather dust? Look in the attic. Open that coin jar. Call your parents. Check those old rolls of pennies you've ignored for years. Your legacy may already be in your hands. And if you want to know exactly how to grade, verify, and sell a rare penny for maximum value, hit subscribe. Because in our next video, we'll show you the step-by-step method to cash in on your coins.